Welcome back, and thank you for joining for another one of Mike and Billy's whiskey reviews. Today's going to be a comparison video. I have brought you what I think is the most fair comparison whiskey review I have done to date, and that is the Ardbeg 10-year-old 43% versus the Laphroaig 10-year-old 43% normal standard bottlings. This is the age-old question amongst whiskey, especially peated whiskey connoisseurs, much like Jedi versus Sith, red versus blue, Buckeyes versus Michigan, Red Sox versus Yankees. I can go on, but this is an even matchup. What this is two Southern Iowa whiskeys, heavily peated, both 43% ABV, both aged only 10 years, both non-chill filtered. Really cost-wise are almost the identical in the bars, in the local shops. Usually somewhere between 43 and 46%, or let me start over. Usually somewhere between $43 and $46 American. And these are two whiskeys that, even amongst peated whiskey lovers, people have a strong opinion on which one's the better one. People will be adamant about Laphroaig 10 or adamant about Ardbeg 10. So I'm gonna put them right here, right next to each other, and I'm gonna smell and taste, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I think is a better one. First, let's start out with the nose. Now, I'm gonna start by saying that the Laphroaig is artificially colored, where the Ardbeg is not. So you can see the difference, and it's a drastic difference as far as color. But again, natural color, artificial color. So right away, as far as the appearance, Ardbeg has a bit of a step up. Now, let's nose the whiskeys and see where we're at. Such a beaut, this Ardbeg 10. It's basic, but I love the basics. Lemon, lime, and vanilla. And a ton of smoke, but that goes without saying. So on this one, lemon and lime, not overpowering, beautiful, beautiful whiskey. The Ardbeg 10 is something I always have here at the house. Well, I always have a Laphroaig 10 too, so take it for what you will. They're both good whiskeys. I find value in always having them. So I'm getting lemon and lime and vanilla off this one. Aggressive, but not insane as far as the alcohol. All right, Laphroaig 10. It's much more, it says the most richly flavored whiskey in the world. There is more flavor to this one. Quite a bit more flavor. It's more aggressive. You get more sweetness initially with the nose on this one. And not that there isn't sweetness in the Ardbeg, but we're splitting hairs to some degree, but just comparing the two, I would say the Laphroaig is sweeter. For sure. There's almost like when I go back and forth between the two, there's almost a fiery chili note that I pick up with this after I smell the Ardbeg. There's almost like a fortified wine character, like a dry wine characteristic to the Ardbeg 10 when I'm going back and forth with the nose. I mean, that's not really something I ever picked up normally nosing an Ardbeg 10, but once you go to the Laphroaig 10, smell that rich sweetness and TPC and smoke, and then you go to this one. There's almost like a clayish character. Clay is like the best way I can describe it, like a dry putty. If any of you ever done a drywall, the plaster, the putty that you put in the corner, like when you tape off a piece of drywall at the very top when it comes between the wall and the ceiling, it almost has that to it. And that's why I love doing comparison whiskey reviews, because when I go back and forth through the whiskeys, I will pick up smells and tastes that I just couldn't pick up when I was just just drinking one or the other of these bottles. So I'll say this. This is a bit more rounded and there's a bit more layer to it, but the punch that this gives you of sweetness and nuttiness and smoke and TPC, I prefer. So let's do this in layers. As far as the smell neat, I prefer the Laphroaig 10. Now, let's give it a little taste. Ardbeg 10 is a champ, boy. It's a champ. Even you get that smoke. You get that nice layered smoke. Vanilla comes in after you swallow for a few seconds. Then the lemon and lime's there. Almost like a 7-Up, so to speak. Not like the taste of a 7-Up, obviously, but just like if you're ever at a place where we're getting it out of the fountain, just kind of how that smells coming out of there. A little bit of that. Let's give the Laphroaig 10 a try neat. Well, less refined than the Ardbeg. The Laphroaig, it is a bit more aggressive on the palate. You're getting that TPC, you're getting that barbecue, you're getting that sweet nuttiness. But if I had to pick between the two, and I do, I'm going to say that neat on the palate, I prefer the Ardbeg 10. So just to catch you up, neat on the nose, Laphroaig 10, neat on the palate, Ardbeg 10. Close, but that's where I'm at with it. And I'm a huge Laphroaig guy. So I threw in some water, mix them up. I don't like to move them around too vigorously. I don't think it does a lot for it, but for the sake of the video, since I'm a Neanderthal and I can't figure out how to upload videos more than 15 minutes from my new iPhone, even though I can upload a little bigger videos. If anyone knows what I'm doing wrong, let me know. I've changed my settings, I have verified my phone and my phone number, and for whatever reason, I still can't get it to do more than 15 minutes. Anyway, not that matters to you folks. So let's get back into the comparison nose now that I've added a little bit of water. Water does Laphroaig 10 a lot of justice. Man, that vanilla just comes right up now. Love that vanilla. The lemon and lime's there. Subtle yet aggressive. It's almost like Roberto Arguello, if you guys are boxing fans. He was subtle, but strong. Until he fought Calvin Pryor, that is. Then he was neither. But this is just, it's subtle and it's strong. It's peaty and it's vanilla and it's lemon and lime. Whew, love that Ardbeg 10. All right, Laphroaig 10. So good. That's good. Sweet nuttiness. I tell you what, you need to put some water into an Ardbeg 10. The sweetness really comes out. It is such a rich sweetness. Almost like caramel at the fair that caught on fire, and just to be ridiculous, they threw sugar on the fire. Like burnt sugar cane and Laffy Taffy on a radiator smoking. See that? The clay thing isn't gone, it's still there. That earthy, muddy clay. If the color gray smelled like something, it would smell like this after you smell Laphroaig 10. Oh man, I still gotta go with this Laphroaig 10 on the nose. This Laphroaig 10 on the nose is a beautiful, sweet, smoky barbecue beef brisket city barbecue with mustard sauce monster. And the Ardbeg, it's lemon and lime and smoke and vanilla and clay. And it's incredible. All right, on the taste. Where are we at here? About the same, slightly watered down. Just slightly, though. Prefer the Ardbeg 10 neat. Laphroaig 10. Where I said initially, I like this one better, neat on the palate, and this one better, neat on the nose. You add water, I like the Laphroaig 10 better in both scenarios, both on the palate and on the nose. So here's where I'm at. Probably gonna get some heat for this because I know this is regarded as a better whiskey, but my favorite of the two is the Laphroaig 10. I do think the Ardbeg 10 is a more complex whiskey. However, for my money, and being it's the exact same money, I prefer the Laphroaig. That's just me. You might be different. Let me know in the comment section. I want to thank you for once again joining for another one of Mike and Billy's whiskey reviews. And as always, I wish you happy drinking. I'll see you next time. Until then, in the comment section.